And we have changed, and we are changing as far as acceptance of drawings. So there isn't this gray area that people are interpreting one way or the other.
That will help you immensely.
You know, and part of the history of this whole process, actually I've been on here for 15 to 18 years, I've lost track, is the fact that, you know, we have some seasonals that want to do a little modification, and we don't really want to make them go to an architect and draw it out and go to the expense and then come to us and we say no. Or, you know, we try to make it simple if we can get by without causing problems. But obviously, as life and society gets more complicated, we've got to ask for more when somebody applies. So I do recognize that problem with back in this period of time for sure. And we've already had some conversations, so Jim recognizes it too. All right. Right now, you have made a motion and you have seconded. Does anybody need a repeat of what he's proposing? Or do you want to take a vote on what's out there for us right now?
Well, I would like to make another comment, and that is, I looked in the definitions for a breezeway. There isn't one. It's obviously part of the building.
In this particular case, it definitely is, because the county had to come back down and make sure that there was a firewall, because it becomes part of the actual building itself. So you're extending the house through the garage at this point.
Yeah, I went and looked at it this morning. It's a serious edifice, building. But the applicant is saying that he always meant to have it there, and somehow just didn't include it in the drawings. And I had to look up breezeway on Wikipedia. I didn't realize it was considered a formal architectural feature. And I don't know how that sounds to the rest of you. Yeah, this is a tough job.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a vote. All in favor of Ed's motion?
Aye.
No.
I'm going to have to say aye. I think we're allowing the breezeway. It's an extension of the building way beyond what was originally proposed to Ed, and I still do not like the idea of the extension of the front of that garage out past the base of the house. So that's where we stand right now.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
For clarification, the chimney juts out.
I know that was told to me the first time, and I don't. That's an exception to the overall lay of the house.
But that's also an extension of the house, just like the neighbors.
The garage is, I went and looked for that very point, and your garage, the chimney is a couple inches past, your garage wall is 2 inches past your chimney, and your garage wall is 1 inch past the eave of the house, and the garage roof is 1 foot past the house roof. And
So
every part of it is in front of that existing house, and I was very sorry to discover that.
So for clarification, the question of vacating or rescinding the stop work order, that's denied. And the question of granting the area variance for the garage where it sits is denied. And the ZBA has voted 3-2 in favor of keeping the garage in its place so long as the face of the garage is moved back 16 inches.
Correct. We want, based on this original drawing and the discussion, to have the base, the majority of the house, so let's forget about the chimney, the plane of that house to be continued through the front of the garage. part of that whole lay of the land out there is the fact, again, that the road is further away from one end of the house where we're starting from, and it feeds closer and closer to the road as you get further downstream. That's why there's only like 18 feet from the edge of the road to that corner of the garage.
I just want to make sure I understand what the ZBA has done and what the record will reflect. Denial of the application to
As
vacate
presented.
and then number 2, denial of the application for an area variance to keep that garage as it's cited. And then there's been a motion seconded and voted in favor, 3-2, to allow the garage to remain so long as the edge of the garage closest to the road is removed back at least 16 inches.
Is that the distance?
At least 16 inches. And if it's moved back
To
16.
line up with the face of the house, basically. It could be 15 and a half, it could be 16 and a half.
So you want the edge of the garage closest to the road to be exactly in line with the edge of the
The
house.
face of the garage.
Yeah.
Because they're in line anyways. And the whole house is kind of turned on a lot, and the face of everything lines right up.
To the greensway.
That's it. Thank you.
Sure.
We have an additional issue that's before us tonight, and that's an application for, actually, it's a clarification. Jim gave it to me today because it indicates, and if you look at it, that an individual wants to put a garage across the road across the local road from his existing cottage and put sewer and water in the living space in that garage. That's, yeah, it's riverfront.
What's the name on
I don't know who the owner is, to tell you the truth, because the contractor delivered the paperwork, and it's Gutermont Brothers, who's a contractor. So you're not gonna find it on there, except you're gonna have the parcel number, which I looked up.
He was supposed to be here tonight and bring another drawing, but he hasn't showed up, so
Maybe we can just table
I
it.
think we should.
But my question to you, really, we can table this to the next meeting, is we got a problem, we've had a problem in this town before when people suddenly create 2 habitable dwellings on the same parcel of land. They could be family members, they could be kids, but what happens, and what has historically happened, is all of a sudden they sell the property, and or an adult dies and their children fight over who gets the land or who gets the property, and suddenly we have people coming into this board saying, we want to separate this land and we've got 2 separate living dwellings, so...
Is there no deed restriction on single-family dwelling? Because when I bought my lot, I can only have, on 2 acres, I can have 1 single dwelling house.
No, that was something that's not under the zoning law that does that. That's when the local deeds are done. There is not on this, because if you look at what is required under zoning for single-family dwelling, it's a 1 acre lot. And there isn't enough there to start with this, to go to the planning board and say, we want to divide this in 2, because you would not make it. And we're tabling it, so you're not making a decision tonight. I just want you to think about it and look at what we've got in our law, but also think of that historically what's caused some problems is a family cluster of buildings, and suddenly the family gets in a squabble and they come to us and say, how can you make me move out when my sister's got this other parcel and house that's under her control? We've had divorces, and they try to settle it with one each side.
I think this issue of maps is unclear, and I think this is exactly what
Jim indicated that they were supposed to show up with a good map. That's another reason why we're tabling it.
Okay, well, I would like to table all further applications until we have all the maps.
I don't disagree with you. It's caused us problems.
Yes.
It always has. And we try to work through it one-on-one, and we just have to say no for everything.
I think the engineered maps is maybe excessive.
Shady Shores.
It's past Cedar Point. It's that one that comes in from
There's a
almost
bunch of
Lake.
yellow houses, very engineered.
Bob Norris house.
Ben, Chief Quintos lived there? Who? There's new people. Turned down the road and changed it.
They're way,
That's
what I mean.
Sorry.
they're way down. It's
Sorry.
past,
I mistake it.
it's past Cedar Point.
I mistake.
Any correspondence? Forgot to check, but I didn't see anything in the office. So,
Isn't Shady Shores, isn't the driveway actually in the town of Clayton?
yeah,
Yes.
been under the buildings.
Right. So if anybody drove to the edge of town looking for it, said I must have missed it, because I think it is Rock Beach Road, Cedar Point, my house, Shady Shores.
I can hardly, I hope so. All right, 10 days through something.
I personally, when it gets to us, you know, it's not big enough for, 2 lots. And I don't like having 2 living dwellings on the same lot.
I hope.
We
has
actually designed away from that with our law.
No, I mean that.
And isn't there, Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yeah.
Isn't there something in this law that does say only one primary use
Yes.
structure? Okay, and
But see, right now, the way they're describing it, could just be an extra bathroom and a living area for the kids.
I've got to get my voter.
You know, it's not necessarily principal dwelling.
correct, it's,
I paid $5.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Yes, I.
The next meeting date is May
Yeah.
6th.